What's going on, guys? Martyn here. Today I want to talk about something very, very important. And the reason why I'm doing this video, just so you guys know before we get into this, is because people hit me up all the time. They're like, how do you deal with hate? How do you deal with stress? How do you deal with the lows, right? How do you deal with like certain circumstances that would more or less slow me down, right? So you guys asked me that question. And I want to do this video about one simple thing. No matter what you're going through, good and bad, but we're going to talk about the bad right now because everyone goes through it no matter what level you're at in your life. Whether you got $100 million, you got $10 million, you got $5 million, you got $1 million, you got 100,000, you got 10,000, you got $1, right? There's always going to be things in your life that are going to be hard. And this video is about the fact that it will make you better. Okay, what you go through is going to make you who you're going to be. And we all know that. Everyone understands that. Like, oh yeah, what you go through tomorrow is going to make you who you are tomorrow, and the next day, and the next. Did I say tomorrow? You can't go what you go through tomorrow, right? So what you go through yesterday is gonna make you who you are tomorrow, right? So that's the reality. And again, I want to reiterate the fact that the bad shit that we perceive like it's bad will make you better. I promise. Okay, so I'm gonna share a story about my life when I was young. Okay, and this is what got me to think like this. I don't know. Now I can kind of look back and realize it. Obviously, then I couldn't be like. I couldn't put all these thoughts together because I was so young. But looking back on my life, I'm grateful for everything that has happened the way that it did, despite how shitty at the time it was. So let's rewind like to, man, I wish I knew the exact dates. That'd be dope if I was like 1995. It'd actually be 1995. I got it. Because I was born in 89. So 95 would be 6, right? Okay. So 6 years old. I don't want to put this in perspective. So before this moment, right, as a kid, what happens? Everything is good. Life is good. Family is good. Like, you get a scratch, it's temporary. It's good. Like, you get better. You heal up. In a week it's gone. Let's say you roll an ankle. In 2-3 weeks it's better, right? So I'm a kid, and that's how kids, and that's how some people kind of their lives are still today. Like, maybe they haven't gone through so much. Even though I know there's a lot of you guys out there who have gone through a ton. But the point is this. My story, right? Flash forward, flash backwards to when I was 6. So when I was 6 years old, my father took his life. He hung himself, okay? And I'm not doing this video to get emotional. I'm gonna do my best not to, because I've talked about it enough, and I'm not okay with it that it wasn't the best thing in the world, but I'm okay with sharing it with you guys because I know that it could help some of you guys and inspire some of you guys. So this happened to me when I was 6 years old. In the moment, like before that moment, before that day when my mom said, hey, this is what's happening, right? Everything was good. Like I said, you get a scratch, it's okay. You roll your ankle, it's okay. But I realized that, like, not at the time, because you can't, like, you couldn't really, as a 6-year-old, I couldn't really conceive like what the fuck really happened. But looking back now, it made sense. Okay, so everything was flowers and berries, and because I really like blueberries and shit, but everything was all like temporary, and it was good, and everything was good. And then this moment happens when your mom tells you, hey, this has happened. Your dad's not coming back, right? And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, that's just, it's gotta come back, right? Because I got a scratch last weekend, and now it's fine this week, so it's gonna be okay. And when I was young, I learned really early on that, like, shit is real. Like, life is real, right? And the reason why I'm like talking about that story to relate it to right now is that no matter what goes on in your life, no matter what happens in your life, no matter what circumstances you're in, you can either take it one way or another, right? There's some people out there who something like that would happen to them, and they may take it like, why me? And I'm not gonna lie, there was times, and there's still times I think like, why me? But I've realized now that the why me is so that I can stand here and share this with you guys today, right? At the time and during the hard times along the way, you're like, why me, and why this and why that? And you get big moments in my life, like when I graduated from high school, and I think about, I wish my father would have been there to see it. And there's always those times, those big things, and my mom tells me this too, like, when you get married, you're gonna think about it. And I already know she's right. So there's those moments that are always gonna bring it up, but the reality is, those hard times, those things that are, I would call defining moments in your life, whether or not for you guys it's a father dying or taking his life, or a mother or a brother or a sister or a grandma, whatever it is, it's I'm not saying what has happened to me is worse than anything that has happened to you or is gonna happen to you. I'm just trying to show you guys, like, no matter what happens, it's gonna be okay and it will make you better. No matter what you're going through, it's gonna make you better. And that's what this video is about, is that shit is not always easy, right? For me, I learned early on that shit's real and like, yo, this is real life and what are you gonna do with your life and what do I wanna do? And that kind of started me on this path of like, what am I gonna do with my life? Because I could see that life can end, right? Because before it was like I said, I got a scratch, but it was good next week. And then to realize when I first realized, hey, look, my father's not coming back. That's not like a, let's rewind and redo this. You can't do it, right? So I'm saying all this to say, whatever you're going through in your life right now, as hard as it may seem now, when you're in it, there is always so much to learn. There's always so much character that's gonna be built through that for you, that's gonna make you such a better person, so much of a better person following the years, the days, and it's gonna build character. And that's truly what is most valuable thing in life. Like, I don't care if you have tons of money, you have tons of this, you have tons of that. It doesn't, none of that really matters. Like, that stuff is all great and those are all cool goals to have, but the reality is you can have everything in the world and be miserable as shit. And there's people out there like that I've even encountered in my life that have tons and tons of money and they're miserable, right? So again, guys, no matter where you're at, I'm not trying to make this about money, I'm not trying to make this about success, I'm trying to make this about where you're at in your life, if you're going through something, and if you're not, the reality is you're gonna go through something eventually, no matter what. And again, it may not be what I said, it may not be what I went through, but it's gonna be something that's gonna bug the shit out of you, it's gonna make you sad, it's gonna make you upset, you're gonna cry, and that's okay. And you have to know that it's okay, and know that there is so much more coming that's gonna be ahead of you. You just have to be there to look for it, to work for it, to go towards it, and to use what has happened in your past to better you as an individual, to better you as a human. And that's what it really can do. You have to decide that, though. You can't say, oh, this is bad, and just like let it take you down this route of like, oh, it's bad, and woe is me, and this is that, and well, this happened to me, so I'm here, and this happened to me then, so I'm there. You have to be like, okay, this happened, what can I get out of it? Like, what can I do to better myself from it? Because the reality is you can't change the past. You can't change what has happened. You can't say, well, let me rewind and start this over. You can't do that. You can only do what you're doing today and decide what you're gonna do tomorrow. And say, okay, I'm gonna take these steps to change my life in this direction. And there's no one else who can do that for you but you. So you can't say, hey, you know, that person did this to me, and that's why I'm here. You can't say, oh, this happened to me, and that's why I'm here. No, you're here because you're fucking here. So decide what you want to do with your life, no matter where you're at, and fucking go there. And don't worry about all this other shit. Like, it's gonna affect you, it's gonna be hard, but if you really want it and you want it bad enough, you'll make it, you'll get there. Anyways, I love you guys. Seriously, I hope you love these videos. They're from the heart, and yeah, that's it. Give it a big thumbs up if you want to see more stuff like this. If not, then I still love you, and that's it. You know, I don't know what else to say. What else you want to say? That's pretty good. Decent. You got anything to add? No? No? All right. I love you guys. I'm out. And remember one last thing. If it doesn't change you, if it doesn't make you better, fuck it. I'm out. I love you guys.